And I wanted to ask you in that series about the following, because you love baseball and you love how it is in baseball. The advanced metrics make it so that we really can do a good job of measuring individuals now in team sports. So when I say to you, I did not have before this Indiana series as the analysis that Jalen Brunson is going to be the biggest liability that's going to be exposed and exploited in this series, because if him and Cat are on the court at the same time, Indiana is going to ravage them with math probabilities that expose Jalen Brunson as the worst defensive player remaining in the sport. Why wasn't that the analysis before the series, and is that analysis more accurate now than it has been at any point during Indiana's run of the last 2 years?
Well, I would say this. First of all, I think one of the things that, because it's a 3-1 series, that people are not, I'm not going to say they're missing, but overlooking a little bit, is all of these big games have been close. So they're right down to the wire. The margins are small. And so these things do matter. Okay, they do matter. But going in, I think that we were talking about, Indiana's improved defense over the course of the year. And certainly since January 1st, they were a top 10 defensive team. And, we talked about, I think because Tom Thibodeau's the coach there, everybody talks about the Knicks as if they're a good defensive team. And so I think what people didn't talk about enough is going back even to last year's series against each other. These two teams can't stop each other. Game 3, second half was a little different. New York, was able to play some defense. But other than that, nobody in this matchup can guard anybody. Both teams score at will. It's an offensive series. So, yes, are they exploiting Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns? Yeah, and New York is exploiting Miles Turner and whoever tries to guard Karl Anthony Towns. And whoever tries to guard Jalen Brunson, especially anyone other than Aaron Nesmith. So, yeah, both teams are exploiting weaknesses on the other side, but it's not like Indiana is dominating this series.
Coach, I'm curious. Anthony Edwards, after Game 4, said he didn't struggle. He just made the plays that the defense made available to him. And so when you have your star player who's one of the immortals, one of the great players in the league, how do you tell him the balance between making the right play under normal circumstances versus, buddy, we need a win, and sometimes you got to make the wrong play to make that happen?
Listen, I think you always have to make the right play. What the right play is, may change from situation to situation. I don't think it's ever the right play for a guy to just say, hey, I got to get a shot up. I don't care if they send 3 defenders. I'm going to shoot a 22-foot fadeaway over 3 guys. That's not going to work percentage-wise. I do think there are times where, you can maybe force the issue a little bit more in certain situations because the rest of your teammates are struggling. It's always trying to make the right play, though. It's just that changes from situation to situation. I thought, last night he certainly was very, very aggressive. I don't think that's just the answer either. Listen, basketball is a game of decisions, and the best players make the best decisions. I've argued this for a long time. People think it's all about athleticism and skill, and while those things are important, if you look, the guys who are the best and most efficient players, they make the best decisions. It's why I thought, and I'm biased. I know I coached him at the beginning of his career. It's one of the things that made Dwayne Wade as great as he was, is he got to the shots that he could make consistently. And he got to those all the time, and he stayed away from the other things. He was a great decision maker and really, really good down the stretch in games. I've thought for a long time that he's the best closer that I've seen. It's all about decisions. And I think if you go into a game and say, all right, tonight I've got to pass the ball, or tonight I've got to shoot the ball a lot. No, you have to react to situations on the floor. And I think that, Tyrese Halliburton in our series did not think he was aggressive enough in game 3. I agree with that. I think you have to be aggressive to try to score. But if that second defender comes, you've got to give the ball up.
I have to stop you right now. It's been a minute since he did the show with us. He's a little full of himself. He's a big NBA voice and everything else. And so you can understand how Stan would come in here as a coach and talk at us. But Stan doesn't mind a little constructive criticism. So you've told me 2 or 3 times during what you just said to listen. Do you think I can't hear you? Do you think I'm old and you need to shout at me, listen again? Or do you think it makes your point better to tell me to listen even though I'm listening to you say listen several times more than you need to because I can hear you fine, except for last time you were on with us when I couldn't because your audio blew.
Oh, that was great. Absolutely great. So I will take the constructive criticism and try to take that out of what I am saying.
There's got to be a tone fine, right?
No, it's not a tone fine. It is, though. It is something that I need from you here, though, Stan, because I want to continue doing this with you because I've loved doing this with you over the years. The energy to meet the particular moment right now to tell me that just this is all over. OKC is going to win. Why are we even talking about Stan's series?
Well, listen, I've said all year. See, I used the listen again. I caught myself that time, though, because you brought it out to me. But I have said all year that Oklahoma City would win the championship. They're the dominant team all year. I don't think you can just discount the regular season. This is a 68-win team, and they have an answer to every problem anyone poses. You want to go big, you want to go small, it doesn't matter. They have all the answers on that bench. Mark Daigneault does a great job. They've got a true star. There's no one out there as good as they are. I do think they'll win it all, no matter who wins our series here. But that doesn't mean that who wins this series doesn't matter.
Drew Hollandaise.
What derails OKC? I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about the next 4 years.
Well, 2 things. I think number 1, health. I mean, you can't guarantee
but give me another one other than health. When I tell you that Jalen Williams is not one of their top 10 highest paid players, like I'm asking you, what derails it?
That's the second thing that comes up is, what's going to happen with all these guys' contracts? They're all going to want max money. You can't pay them all. The last time that, Oklahoma City went through this was back in Durant, Harden, Westbrook, Serge Ibaka days, and they parted with, James Harden. It's hard. You're not going to be able to long-term keep all of these guys together. And so you're going to have to make choices on who you have together and then who you use to supplement those core players with. It's not an easy thing. Amin would know more about this than most people, having been in front offices and work. But this idea that we have this team and we're just going to keep them together for the next 10 years, that won't work financially. So a lot of hard decisions are going to have to be made. Are you going to max out, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren? Well, then you're not going to have around them for the long term the same group they have now. That's just not going to be possible.
Stan, the finances aside, let's just assume Clay Bennett decides he's got plenty of money and he wants to, he'll spend whatever it takes to luxury tax. How hard is it as a coach to get guys to buy into the roles that they were in a year ago, basically?
Well, it's really, really difficult because, look, it's still a business, and these guys want to make money, and you start to have some success and get recognition. We're all trying to advance and get better, which for basketball players means bigger roles on teams. And so guy who might be satisfied being your eighth man. Let's say Casey Wallace, okay?
Stan, can I just stop you on this one, though? When you say hard decisions and everything, I don't think these decisions are hard when you consider the way the system is gamed for the Thunder, not just now, but in 25, they got 2 1s and a second. In 26, they got 2 1s and a second. In 27, they've got 2 1s, 2 seconds. In 28, they've got 1 1, 3 seconds. In 29, they've got 1 1 and 5 seconds. Like, you're going to lose some of these players, but you've increased the probability of replacing them with cheaper, better ones because you've got all of these draft picks to protect against health, money, and anything else.
Well, look, there's no question they're set up well. But what they've got right now is guys who are getting the job done. They're not going to be able to retain all those guys. I think we know that. So now you're assuming that all of those draft picks are going to be able to come in and contribute the way that their recent draft picks have contributed. There's no guarantee of that. Listen, as great a job as Sam Presti has done in the draft, and I'm not sure anyone's done a better job ever in the draft than Sam Presti, you're going to miss on some guys over time. That's just the way it goes. And when they do, now you don't have the quality of bench, the quality of rotation that you have now. Are they set up well? Yes. Will they be derailed? I don't think so. I think they're set up very well for the next 4, 5, 6 years. But when you ask me what could derail them, that's what it is to me, not being able to, have the continuity in your roster.
Paulo Banchero
is going to the Thunder? Or do we just pull that name out of the hat?
No, they're making jokes at my expense. They're taking basketball players. You know what? You want to delight Stan? Go ahead and
please tell him.
No, let's just.
We have a working doc.
Yeah, look, there's a working doc here. We're going to give them all to you, Stan. And as a fellow, you used to be a fat person. You know that this is the last place in America that people can attack someone in their insecurities publicly.
There's a lot more places now.
Well, this
We're
is
back.
up.
Societal shift.
The portal opened up, but this had been the safest space that no one objected to. You want to make fun of somebody? Make fun of the old fat guy. That's an easy space. And now this is what they've been doing to me all show.
Because he played basketball versus 17-year-old.
I did play basketball recently against a 17-year-old, and so they said my game, they're going to give you an assortment of names here to choose from. You rank them.
All right, we got Pelle Larsson. We got Carl Anthony Pounds, Kristaps Porzingis, Jay Chowder, Bradley Veal, Andre Drummond, Nemanja Biapizza.
That's my favorite. We forced that one.
I like it, though.
Andre Drummond.
Miles McFries, Gravy Dick. See, Mitchell Slavinson.
Oh, man. These are good.
Oh, gosh.
Jason Tatum Tots.
Oh, yep.
Stan, what's your favorite?
Oh, my gosh. Those are all outstanding. And it's really amazing that we have a group of people that can get paid good money to do things like this all day.
Good.
Let's. I mean, there's a lot of things wrong with this country, but come on now. You can get paid for that.
How about
That's
us?
Pretty damn good.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
The seal of approval.
Orange Julius Randle. Mason Plumpley.
That's a good one, too.
Thank you. I'm glad.
That is a good one.
I'm glad you guys have enjoyed this. The Oklahoma City Thunder, though, Stan, this one in the modern age, in a league filled with narrative storylines, you got to care about the people, the stars, or the thing. They are going to be a champion, it would appear, that while not unlikely, I thought this team was good enough last year to be a bigger challenge to everything that was happening in the sport than Dallas ended up being, and I was surprised they lost last year. This team is more set up than most, even in a league that's random, to do this for a while, even understanding that none of these things are permanent, because they are young and hungry, and they do things the way the basketball purist in you loves. It's just about all efficiencies, but great at defense, don't turn the ball over, cause a lot of turnovers, and you just can't beat their probabilities when they can beat you every single way.
Well, that's true. The thing to me, the great teams have an answer to everything. Now, what they didn't have an answer to, and I'm not just talking about last year, but if you go even last year in the regular season and early in the year this year, that they hadn't found an answer to Luka Doncic's Dallas teams, but Dallas decided to take that off the table for them. So they have an answer to every question. And I think that's really the issue when you get into the playoffs. Like, even if you're trying to construct a team, and we could do it right here, and there's no limitations, what kind of team do you want to put out there against them where you say, well, here's their vulnerability. If only you could do this. They're going to have an answer to all of it. That roster has not only got a lot of talent, it's really been expertly put together to handle all the problems. I mean, I thought sort of the missing piece from last year was going out and getting Hartenstein. So now they can play big against you. They can play two bigs. And they've got more depth. We saw it when Chet Holmgren was out early in the year. Then they're still big enough to play. Jalen Williams as their third center, would be a very good backup anywhere else. I just have a hard time identifying a weakness there.
Luka Doncic.
Not bad.
You're laughing at your own joke.
I think it's good.
Stan, the thing that I think is going to be hard to talk about and hard to overcome is OKC's point differential this playoffs. They are winning by an average of 11 points per game. It's the highest since the Warriors of 2017 were doing it, 13 points a game. I believe that's the team I was saying was the best I'd ever seen. A point differential of 11 when you've lost a game by 42, Stan, suggests that OKC is a great deal better than everyone they're playing against this season and has been for a while. Only injury derails them from taking down whoever comes out of your conference. There is no other thing there that derails it, correct?
I don't think so. And to me, it would almost have, the injury would almost have to be to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think they could survive any other injury and win. Jalen Williams would obviously be a big loss. Chet Holmgren would be a big loss, but honestly, I think they would overcome either one of those losses. If Shai Gilgeous-Alexander goes down, then they're going to get beaten. But other than that, I think they'll end up winning the championship. They're too deep, too good, too versatile, too well coached. Their habits are fantastic. I just don't see anything keeping them from winning the championship.